talk about is time sensitive. Now, let's get to everybody's favorite part, the Q&A. Answer all your questions to the best of my abilities, and we'll get into it. So let's go. So let's see here. I agree with Daniel. We must make the Fed obsolete via meme coins. I got to tell you, there is so many. I have nothing against meme coins. I've invested in some. I mean, we talked about this. Why? Very small percentage of my portfolio, right? I'm not like dumping all my Bitcoin for PopCat or something crazy. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to hear this word meme coin super cycle until it just explodes. So just get ready for it. And remember, NFTs were a thing and they became super overvalued. I think it's going to be the same thing with meme coins, but I could be wrong. And the Catacombs has a good question. It's good. It's good. How does it help to remove a book that was already available and everybody already has copies as it's just asinine? So what you really have to think about is this. It's to stop the damage of whatever is in that book that they don't want people to read. And yes, it is online. So if you really wanted to get it, you could. But it's just interesting that the Department of Defense is like, we got to yank this book and we have to put some kind of provisions on it because we don't want people to understand it. I'm not saying that it's not available and out there. Everything's available and out there. I'm just saying you have to try to curb what's going on. I just found it interesting. And then John says, Kamala wants to tax unrealized capital gains. I mean, she's talked about that, but I mean, let's be honest. That's not going to, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that will ever pass because it's just something, to me, it's just propaganda. It's like, hey, we're going to do these unrealized tax gains and we're going to get these rich people and they're going to go down. And I've been hearing about this for 5+ years and it just never goes through. So if you want to be able to get the entire Congress to pass that, good luck, because those people have a lot of donors who have a lot of money and they are not going to go for that. Sorry. So we can see what happens. CryptoSenk says Bill Clinton did not balance the budget. True. He almost did. He came closer and he's a lot closer than we are right now. I'll tell you that. I didn't know this. Newt Gingrich and the Republican Congress shut down the government until he balanced the budget and put welfare restrictions in place. Entitlements. And you're going to hear this word entitlements. Medicare, Social Security, the things that you pay into. Apparently, and that's one thing that does make me angry about the U.S. government. And I get it. Social Security, great. It's there for you when you retire. But is it going to be there? Like you listening to this video, if you're an American, I don't know how it works in the rest of the world, but apparently, like for here in the States, every time that you get a paycheck, Social Security gets taken out, and then you get that as time goes on, or you retire past a certain age. I want to say 59.5, maybe it's 65, maybe it's 63. I forgot what they did these days. But the thing is that if you were to take the same amount of money and you could have put it into like just something basic, like the S&P 500, you're going to be way more ahead than what you're going to get for Social Security. There's been numerous blog posts and websites put on about this. And I got to tell you, it kind of sucks. But that's, unfortunately, the extent for most of the Americans and how they invest. They go, hopefully I got Social Security. That's not going to be there. All right, what else we got? Newt also cost the GOP majority in Congress. Newt Gingrich. Now we're getting deep into the weeds of politics. I wonder how Newt is doing these days. I just don't get it. Yeah, Senator Warren, like she doesn't get it. But you either what is that quote in Batman? You either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. I'm sure when Elizabeth Warren first got into Senate, I'm sure she did some great things. But it seems like the more that they're there, which is why I'm always like, I think there should be term limits. You kind of just become more corrupt as time goes on. It's just natural, You don't want to deal with these plebs, these poor people over here that are in the middle class. Ugh. You want to actually be there and hang out with a bunch of rich people. Why would you do anything else? So I think she needs to go. We'll find out. Ellis says, is this the final shakeout right now? Ellis, I don't know. Like some people will it seems like every thumbnail and every splash and every YouTube channel, not every, there's others that don't do it, but they're like, this, it's going to explode. It's going to go up. There's going to be a supply shock and watch out. And this is the last one. And before you know, you're like, what the hell happened? We could probably see another one, another two, another three. I have no idea. I just know that one thing that I'm pretty sure on is that, like I said, bear markets don't last forever. Chop doesn't last forever, sideways chop, and massive blow off top bull runs don't last forever. So I'm just here because I did what I was supposed to do. I accumulated in the bear market when everybody thought I was crazy. I threw sand in the ocean. Essentially, that's what it is like to DCA. And now I'm here just waiting. I got time. I hope I got time. Wow, she got her A handed to her. It's pretty bad. Well, remember, that's just a snippet. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole interview or the whole debate. Maybe later on she like totally torched Deaton. I don't know, but it looked pretty good in that one. Yeah, Robbie's trying to get Jason Lowry on a show from here. I'll give it a shot, see what happens. I'm sure he's in demand. I don't even know if he can actually do interviews. I mean, if he's part of the military still, Space Force, or if he's a civilian, I don't know what's up. Which book? Software. That's it, software. Raise is unfortunately correct. Social Security is a non-sustainable situation. It's true. Especially if you see the amount of boomers, baby boomers, who are now in that age to collect. And statistically, they keep coming in. So I don't know if it's going to happen. But yeah, I think at some point, we're going to have to it's just going to have to be normal for Social Security just to go away. I have no savings. Hopefully the government is going to help. Panda Pie, I doubt that very much on both of those counts. I'm pretty sure you have savings. Let's go America. Yeah. Data Park says, baby boomers are the biggest voting bloc. Social Security isn't going anywhere along with Medicare. Not for a while. Not for a while. But imagine like 15 years or so, 10, 15. But maybe that's just it. Maybe it doesn't go away totally, but maybe it gets cut down drastically. We could definitely do that. And then it's all how you spin it. Trust me. People in Congress, they are pros at that. Gem Supplies is right. Banning Bitcoin would be like banning guns. It would create even more demand for Bitcoin, but that will help pump our bags. Initially, it'll be bad because just like, now hear me out. Just like how many times have we heard China's going to ban Bitcoin, right? I mean, for us, we're like, oh, it's funny. But the market does get jittery. I got to tell you, I think everybody should start their investment journey in crypto and digital assets, because then your spine becomes steeled with 20%, 30%, 50% swings, and you're like, whatever. Going over to traditional markets would be like, Candyland. But because of the news of China, you'll see it. If it comes out again that, China banned this or that, you'll see the market drop, because people who are in traditional finance actually have their toes in both sides, and they'll freak out and they'll start selling Bitcoin like crazy because they have no idea what they're doing, and that's fine because they never did the research. So initially, if America does that, it'll drop pretty drastically. But then we're like, well, just creates a vacuum, and then we go over here. Someone's going to figure it out, and some nation's going to go for it, hook, line, and sinker, and not just El Salvador. Crockett said, this bull run is testing my resolve. Oh, just wait. Just wait. I wonder if, let's just say, for example, that we get some kind of crazy talk of World War III, or somebody bombs somebody and we get really close, or we get another like huge problem with supply chains, or we get some massive issue with inflation going up, or some data point coming up. Could you guys deal with it with like a 40% drop? Like, Croc, I'm asking you, and actually everybody, could you deal with that? Like, let's just say like Bitcoin, the whole market just drops 40%. We've seen it happen before. Remember that thing called coronavirus? I don't know if you heard about that. It was a big thing. And everything just dropped like crazy. And of course, even the people who were here for a long time were like, oh, it's going to be a pandemic. It's going to last forever. And they got out. So, like, I just wonder if that could happen one more time. And then people will just be like, this bull run's never going to happen. And they just get gone. Me personally, I mean, I hate to say this, but I'm always kind of rooting for a really big downside, because if you're like me, you feel like you never got enough, even though you do. Do you own helium? I own a little bit, but not much. And that's a Solana and the Solana ecosystem for mobile devices. I will say one thing about helium, which is pretty impressive, is that they have a nationwide plan right now. I think it's like $20 a month for their service, unlimited talk, text, and data. It's pretty good. But, you know, they piggyback off of the different towers on T-Mobile and Verizon, I believe. Correct me in the comments. Verhoefi says, Rob, what do you think? We run this year or next? It's got to be next year. I never saw 2024 as the big year. I saw a price appreciation coming in towards the end after the presidential election, but I didn't see, like, I know Bob Lucas talked about a left translated cycle. And if you don't know Bob Lucas, he's a famous trader and puts out videos like every 3 or 4 months. Real solid guy so far. But then he put out another video, he's like, nah, it's not going to happen. 2025. I was like, yeah. Warren couldn't torch a 4th grader. I don't know. She's actually, like, I've listened to her. She makes compelling arguments. I know that's not a very popular opinion, but there's a reason why she became a senator. It wasn't because she couldn't debate. Orlando says, do you do a kettlebell workouts, Rob? I have kettlebells over there, but there's a ton of dust on them. So no. I'm Bitcoin. We're all Bitcoin. Sure. Ryan says, it doesn't matter that unrealized capital gains taxes won't pass. It matters that it's mentioned as if it should pass. It tells you their goals. They hate you and want to take you from you regardless. Maybe, or maybe it's just like a bargaining chip, right? Like you go in there, you know, it's like when you're trying to buy some real estate. You're like, hey, 2 acres. All right, how much you want? You want 150? I'm going to give you 75. Oh, you don't want to do that? Okay. Well, how about, what do you want? 130? I'm going to give you 95. Okay, now you're stuck. Okay, how about this? 125. Oh, 125? Okay, we'll do it. I just say 25,000. Maybe it's the same thing here, right? With negotiation, they're just like, yeah, unrealized capital gains. All right. How about if we do this? Let's put long-term capital gains from 20% up to 23%. Good? Okay. And then everybody gets a win. Maybe that's how it is. Still under the gag order. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. Asti says, if we would have kept all that money we sent abroad, Social Security is sustainable. I don't know how true that is. I know we've sent a lot of money over, but apparently, I'm not going to say it is, but Social Security is, I think that is the number one expense that we have right now for our deficit. I believe it goes Social Security, then Medicare, and then military budget. And we're not cutting that. It's not happening. Cam's videos, can I have a wrench? Yes, on the next time you ask. Just come on back, Cams. I'll give it to you the next time. Don't let me forget everybody. Yeah, 15 years. I wish we could put our Social Security country in IUL. It would be much better. What about like a Roth IRA? Just put it in a Roth IRA. Some kind of 401k. Crypto Esquire, everything's a pyramid scheme. Some legal, some Ponzi. Yeah, it's probably true. Meme, you're not late. You're right on time. You're right on time for the most important parts, where I answer some questions. I agree 1,000%. Learning stocks first was boring. Can you imagine somebody coming in to trade meme coins, and then they go for like futures and options and like the traditional equities? They'd be like, oh my God, this is so boring. But they would probably be really good at it. And they would like, hey, sorry, I lost 5% today. And of course, everybody would be flipping out and they're like, it's 5%, who cares? Hey, Ashley. I'm immune to Corona and 40% pullbacks. And me and me are on the same page. A drop like that would be a great opportunity. I guess it depends on what it is. Here's another example. Let's say it gets really bad and somebody nukes somebody, right? Iran gets their hands on some kind of nuclear power and they nuke somebody. I wonder if then if people are like, well, I got to buy Bitcoin, or they'd be like, maybe we're all screwed. That would be the different one. Yeah. Rocket says, yeah, I can take 40% of a buy. It's this chopping seven. It's killing a lot of people. Unless you're like a scalper or a trader. I think some of those guys just love this because, I mean, you'll see Bitcoin. Let's take a look, actually. What the hell is it? Here we go. So, like, if I'm a trader, I want volatility, right? Pretty massive, as much as possible. Imagine being a trader here and like, you buy at 68,000. Actually not a really good example. This is 7. Let's go a month. See, now here we're talking, right? This is pretty good. You get it at 65 or even like 63. And you just sell at 60. I think people will be pretty happy with this. Or like you buy at 60 and sell at 64. I don't know. I mean, for me, like I look at this, I'm not a trader. I'm not that guy. But there's a lot of like, go watch Tom Crown. He'll tell you all day long. And like these peaks and valleys, it's like a godsend for some of these traders. But that's them, not me. BTFD, I think we're all know how to do that. Yeah. Review report, yeah, I can handle it. I'm 55 and Social Security won't be there for me, so it's Bitcoin for 20 years for me. Yeah, I think that's true. Hello, Peas. Darren's here. Ray says, I was once at negative 65%. I might as well bring it on. I hope Crops is right. You're going to see Bitcoin go down to 40K, 30K, something. That's the nature of crypto at this time. I don't know if it drops that much. Because, let's go backwards. I mean, if you're looking at 2022, you are correct. 2022 was a bad year, but if we're looking at the 4-year cycle-wise, let's just show. How about that? Let's go back in time. So we're here. Actually, no, we're right here. October, whatever the date is. 4 years ago, Bitcoin was $12,000. Well, 13,000 if you want to round up. Good times, good times. And, 7 months ago, we had this thing called the coronavirus that was going to kill everybody. And it didn't. Anyhow, we're doing pretty good. And a lot of that reason is, and people will automatically remind me, but Rob, there was a lot of money printing going on. And that's true. But it's still going on, baby. It's still happening. So we're here. We went from 12,000, 13,000. And then towards the end of the year, we're doing pretty good, 27,000. Imagine doubling. Imagine doubling from here to here. That's essentially what happened. Imagine if we double when we hit, well, first of all, if we double, I have to jump in that green screen behind me. So we'll see how that works out. But coming up here to January, February, you could have done just great right here, right here. But then, of course, you have to ask yourself, well, what about this money printing? And we've talked about this many times. If we look at the M2 money supply, it's savings deposit, money market securities, time deposits, such as CDs. And it also includes M1, which is currency, demand deposits, and other liquid. It's everything. Look at this. Oh, that's a lot of money printing. We went from here, 18.7 trillion. And look at that. This is the S&P 500. It just perfectly mirrors that. This was the space, right? So how much did we go up? Money supply, remember this number. Dang it. 18.74 to 19. So that was $1 trillion. They printed $1 trillion from essentially November to April, roughly. How much are we doing here? Not as much. 20.75 to, well, close, 21.17. That's like half. That's like 400 billion? Yeah, roughly. So once we start firing up the quantitative easing printers, which we're doing right now, we should be just fine. And then we'll, hyperinflate our currency and we'll have a melt up and everything will collapse. Good times. I got some kettlebells. Good. Good for you, Amy. It'll be just like mine. Hopefully you won't just sit them in the corner and do nothing with them. Pause in here. Not sure if she's here yet. Good afternoon. Rusty about the charger. Hey, Toaster. I have a beer. Maybe later. Darren says, it took me 3 years to get a wrench. Did Beardy have some bad meatloaf? That day that the scam happened? No. I think it was just tired and hit him up. Hey, there it is. My dog's right. I'm on a Zoom meeting and I'm doing this in both ways. Awesome. Laser eyes. Yeah. Ashley says, this is my first investment in assets. And I can tell you this is torture. Channels like this keep me sane. Yeah. You know what's great about assets? I mean, for the most part, they mostly appreciate. And not because they're so great. Bitcoin's great. Land is great. Real estate is great. Gold and silver is great. Okay. It's all great. All these assets are great. But one of the big reasons why asset prices go up, it's not because they're just so awesome and they're going to change everything. Gold's been around since the creation of this planet. It's just because we print money. And as long as we print money, there's liquidity, the prices will go up. So what I take a look at, I look at people who don't get into assets and I look at them and I say to myself, it's going to be very hard for you as time goes on. Because if you don't own assets and you keep everything in cash, you're just going to be devalued. And that's why people are so big. That's why I'm so bullish on all different assets. And that's it. Let's see. I'm not a Bitcoin trader, but I'm a miner trader and holder of both. Miners follow Bitcoin. Exactly right, Larry. He's our crypto therapist. Hey, Rob, do you talk to Man Bun? I don't know who that is. I'm way too chicken to trade. I think it's a lot of people, me included. DCA out. I think 48K. Yeah. Pelt knob. Yeah, Rusty. Oh, Rusty's got laser eyes. Congratulations, Rusty. Very nice. You should try leverage trading. It's a fantastic way to lose money fast. I've tried it. Some people are really good at that. I heard, I was talking to a guy from another channel. I'm not going to say his name, but he was talking about one of the best traders he still talks to. And he was a traditional equities, got into Bitcoin and crypto, and now he's all into meme coins. And he does everything on leverage. And he says that these leverage plays, he says he does great with them. But I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, but doesn't it just take one trade or a couple of trades to screw everything over? I don't know. I'm not that guy. Yeah, the nature of Bitcoin is literally in the power law. True. Bob Lucas, Plan B. A lot of people like Bob Lucas, but some people are still ticked off at Plan B. Yeah. Why is everyone saying Social Security is going away? Did I miss something? Just it's not going to go away anytime soon. It's still going to be there. I don't think it's. And there was a report because it has to keep up with inflation and the cost of living, and we know it hasn't done that. But you're going to hear a lot of this talk from senators and congressmen and women, and they're going to say entitlements. And those entitlements are Social Security and Medicare. And they want to cut that because that would help with the deficit. No kidding. Bog says, hey, Rob, pleasant day in El Salvador. I hear it's a very safe, beautiful place now. Andrew said, ton isn't moving. I'm scared and not as confident. Just give it 24 to 72 hours. It'll do something. Either it'll go down or it'll go up. It'll move, though. We'll probably have a blow-off top, but the next drop will also probably be just as brutal as the last. Man, I hope so. It'd be sweet. Yeah, that'd be great. Especially since I took profits like 3 days ago. I don't know if you saw that video, but oh, man bun is Gareth Sullivan. I've never talked to Gareth. I know some people like love him and some people hate him, but just to me, I just think it's just some guy just trying to do his best. Yeah, Darren says, they maybe said your parents are in their 90s. It's amazing. Some people have good genes. I have terrible genes. Look at me. I'm 22 years old. Look awful. Yeah. They want to take Social Security. Thanks for Rob. Thank you. Yeah, this is a good point. You know what's worse than being scared while holding? Regretting having sold. And this is the thing that you have to learn about. And I have to remind myself because even I forget this. So I took profits 3 days ago, watched that video, and the reason why I took profits. But once you take profits, there's no looking back. You just can't. You just go, okay, well, look, this is what I did here. I did that. Now it's only today and forward. Because if you look back, it'll kill you. You're like, oh, if I just would have had that Bitcoin for more, if I just would have, well, for me, it was bonk. If I just would have held on to bonk, it may become the world reserve currency. You never know. So as long as to me personally, I sold one asset to get into another asset. I sold a digital asset to get into an apartment complex. So for me, it was just asset to asset. And that was it. But you just can't look back. And that's going to be everybody here. At some point, you're going to sell. And at that point, that trade is now dead. And everything just moves forward. You'll never time it perfectly. And even if you do time it perfectly for the cycle, if you hit the very top and then you come down and you don't buy the very bottom, you're gonna kill yourself for thinking to yourself, oh, just like in 2017 when I hit 20,000, if I would have sold then, and then I would have done nothing until it went up to 60K, what if I would have said to myself, damn it, I could have sold at 60K. It would just take me 4 more years. But you can't do that. That's why I also talk about once you sell assets, any assets, you'll never get out of. Real estate, you'll never get out of real estate. Gold, precious metals, you'll never get out of. Digital assets, you'll never get out. You'll always be buying and selling and try to get in and out. And I think it's the right thing to do. Tristan says, anyone in the chat and any Bitcoin layer 2s? I am. Well, I am. I don't know what everybody else is, but Stacks, obviously the smart contract platform, and then Core, which is essentially DeFi on Bitcoin. And they have a lot of TVL, total volume locked up. And I'm actually interviewing one of the co-founders tomorrow, Rich. So if you got a question for Rich, and I think Core is still in the top 100, let me know. Yeah. Taxes keep me from playing around too much. It's true. That's the problem. Sell enough to buy the bottom at the price you want. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that one. All right, everybody. That's a good way to keep it right there. So that's it for today. Look, like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. Don't get too worked up. Again, I don't think anything's really going to happen until the end of the year, so after the election. So just relax. You got time. That's it for today. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios.